Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to this week's episode of Around the World. You must have heard about Tunisia, a nation whose people organized an uprising against the government in 2011, and this rebellion shook entire North Africa. Tunisians were anguished with the poverty, hunger, corruption, oppression by the administration and dictatorial rule in the country, and they had rebelled against the government. The wave of rebellion was so strong that it reached the Arab countries, surpassing the North African countries. This rebellion, that is, the Arab Spring, ended the dictatorship in Tunisia. This revolution's impact was so profound that it ended the 23-year rule of Zain al-Abidine, the president of Tunisia. Tunisia is located at the south and west ends of the Mediterranean Sea, and it falls under the strategically important Maghreb region of North Africa. History behind the naming of this region has been shaped by the Arabs. Maghreb region lies in the west of the Arabian Peninsula, called the homeland of the Arabs. Maghreb means west in Arabic language. Several countries of North and West Africa such as Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, as well as some areas of Western Sahara and Mauritania fall under this region. Nearly 11 years have passed since the Arab Spring took place in Tunisia, a country surrounded by Libya in the southeast and Algeria in the west and southwest. Tunisia has witnessed a lot of changes in the past 11 years. The biggest change was that democracy was established in Tunisia, and the Tunisians were successful in holding free and fair elections in 2011. After the elections, Tunisians wanted to adopt a new constitution in Tunisia. The Constitution of Tunisia was adopted in 2014. The first democratic parliamentary elections were also held in Tunisia in the same year. 8 years after the adoption of the constitution, Tunisia is again in the news because of the constitution. Recently, the president of Tunisia, Kais Saied, presented the draft of the new constitution. A referendum is going to be held in Tunisia on 25th of July 2022 to pass the draft of the new constitution. In such a scenario, protests started in Tunisia against this draft constitution. Tunisians fear that the new constitution will eliminate the parliamentary system in the country, and it will once again pave the way for dictatorial rule. Against such a backdrop, it would be interesting to know some of the cardinal changes proposed in this new draft constitution. Presidential elections are going to be held in Tunisia in December 2022. If this new draft constitution is passed, then the president of Tunisia will get unlimited powers. The president will get authority over the government and the parliament. According to the draft, the Tunisian government will be answerable to the president and not to the parliament. The draft states that the president will have full powers for introducing draft laws, proposing treaties, drafting budgets, appointing or dismissing ministers in the government, and appointing judges. Moreover, he will also have the right to dissolve the parliament and will be the head of the armed forces. The president will be able to serve 2 terms of 5 years each. Furthermore, if the president feels that there is any kind of threat to the country, then his tenure may be extended further. These constitutional amendments will establish a presidential system in Tunisia, which will reverse the parliamentary system adopted in Tunisia after the 2011 rebellion. Moreover, the draft constitution will not establish Islam as the state religion. The earlier constitution mentioned that Islam is the official religion and Arabic is the official language of Tunisia. In the new draft, the religion of the state and the nation has been kept separate. In Arabic, Ummah is indicated as a nation. Under the new draft, Tunisia's state religion as a state would not be Islam, but its national religion as a nation would be Islam. If the draft constitution is passed, then what will be its effect on Tunisians? Let's know about that. Tunisians are opposing the new draft for several reasons. The biggest reason is arbitrary decisions taken by President Saied in the past few years. Saied has been trying to strengthen his power for the last 1 year. During this period, he took several decisions to consolidate his hold. In July 2021, he dismissed several people in the government, dissolved the parliament, and abolished the constitution adopted in 2014. He dismissed more than 50 judges as a part of an anti-corruption drive. These judges were allegedly accused of corruption and abetment of terrorists. He also dissolved the Supreme Judicial Council dealing with the independence of judges. He also issued an order to establish a new provisional judicial council for controlling the apex judicial organization of the country. He had issued this order to confer himself with additional powers. In such a scenario, Tunisians fear that the decision taken by President Saied would establish an autocratic rule in Tunisia. They do not want an autocratic rule to be established in Tunisia, as they got rid of such a rule through the Arab Spring of 2011, after facing various hardships. Moreover, Tunisia's economy has been deteriorating continuously over the past few years. Tunisians are facing problems like inflation, poverty, hunger, hence there is anguish among the Tunisians against the government. The new draft of the constitution has enhanced their anguish further. It is quite likely that Tunisia may go through a deep political crisis in the upcoming times. Hence, it will be interesting to see whether these circumstances will bring about an Arab Spring in Tunisia again, or whether Tunisians will find some other way of dealing with this crisis. This is all for this episode. Let us now see today's question. Is the new draft constitution of Tunisia contrary to the values of the Arab Spring? Discuss.